The views and opinions expressed during Love and Life with Lana and Dave are those only of the speakers and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or the position of our podcast hosts or affiliates. Any content provided is not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. All right, let's do it.
You're listening to Love and Life with Lana and Dave, the podcast where logic is power and you take control. Thank you for tuning in and making the choice to listen in and get ideas for your own love and life. Now, here are your hosts, Lana Williams and David Vaccaro.
Hey, listen, I'm Lana.
Oh, and I'm David.
I want to go first because, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies before gentlemen? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that.
I would say age before beauty. There's no beauty going on over here.
Well, that's messed up.
And
That's an untrue
definitely
statement.
The age is a mess.
Yeah, I said that's an untrue statement. There's no beauty going on over there.
Well, I'm only talking about on my side. I can't speak for you.
I'm talking. I'm talking about your side. I said that's not a true story. She's very beautiful, everybody.
Okay.
Lana,
Oh boy,
Lana, she loves compliments. So, in the comments, make sure you tell her how beautiful she is.
Don't give me cheesecake. I don't like it.
God, I had to.
People are starting to decide that they don't want to be friends with me anymore because I don't like cheesecake, and that's fine. I can't. I can't make them stay.
Too bad for them.
Nope.
I have a question.
Right,
wouldn't that be a
what?
form?
Do you have a question
wouldn't that
about?
be a form of gratification? It's not. It's really not.
What be a form of gratification?
A compliment.
If you ask me,
right,
it would be, and you know why I'm going to say it would be.
Yeah. So we're talking today about instant gratification and what people expect and how instant gratification is just such a. And I believe it's kind of funny that we were talking about compliments because I think when somebody compliments somebody, they're looking for that instant gratification back, right?
Right.
I think they really are, and I think that runs us right into this week's topic.
Our topic of the day. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
How
about that?
If I compliment you, Dave, and you say, "Oh, thank you," then I get the expected gratification, attention,
yes,
dopamine hit.
Right.
That I'm looking for.
You get the like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a 3D or in-person like, that kind of thing. Or it can happen online, but obviously it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But, here we go. Now I'm going to go into my notes here.
Excellent.
And we're going to dig into some bullet points. So instant gratification, I think we're going to probably, of course, we're going to approach the logic of it. The logic of instant gratification is that if you are the type of person who demands or seeks instant gratification, you are typically probably an impatient person. You are also probably an insecure person to some degree. Now, obviously, none of this stuff is a requirement for that, but a lot of times you'll find these traits in instant gratification seekers. You may have some controlling behavior. You may have some anxious behavior. So for me to see whether or not somebody has some of those qualities when I first meet them and talk to them, to me, it's a good way to screen them out to see if that's how they are. One of the very first things that you will notice about a person when you start speaking to them is how quickly they demand that you respond back to them. And that gets us into phone calls, voice messages, text messages, PMs, things that people expect you to be, on beck and call for. And that's just a form of instant gratification to me that sort of is a precursor to the type of person that I expect you to be going down the line because most people display that stuff right up front.
When they do, right. And what we should look out for is when people do those things that Lana is speaking about it does happen quite frequently actually in the dating sites, right? What you can expect to happen after that is immediate boyfriend-girlfriend
expectation
they want it. They want to be boyfriend and girlfriend
neediness
immediately,
of some sort,
in a relationship, a full blown relationship immediately. And that's just really not feasible. It just doesn't, you don't even get to know the person. Like,
Right.
to me, instant gratification is meeting somebody that I think there may be a future with, right?
Right.
That's
But
instant
if
gratification.
you're the type to seek instant gratification, are you even going to really screen very well what kind of future
No,
you're
you're
looking for?
not. You're not.
You're just going to be like, oh, that looks good to me. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, and that's because we're, a lot of people are looking for that instant gratification, and it's kind of like you can kind of tell a lot about a person, like their shopping habits and stuff like that. Some people like that instant gratification, like they don't like ordering online. I've always been that guy. I do order online now, but I get much quicker gratification than I used to, right? If I could buy something at the store and I had to drive, go get it, and then I have it, or I had to wait a week, I would not wait the week, even if I was going to save money, right? So that's an instant gratification type of issue. But we're not talking about that directly, but we are talking about, and that
What
is
are we
not,
talking about? The behaviors that like would be behind that, though, in whatever
right.
context, right? So,
Yeah.
And shopping is another. That's just another form of it, right?
Yeah, it's a
For some people.
instant gratification. Sure, when people are depressed, they eat. Instant gratification, or they shop. They spend a lot of money because they get that feel-good feeling that they're going for right now, and they want that instant gratification. Now, there are certain things you can do in your own life to have instant gratification, and that's okay to a certain point. But you have to keep an eye on yourself, and that's something that I do all the time. It's like, what makes me want to go shopping right now? Like, there are people that get, they get $100 in their pocket and they need to go spend it, right?
Right.
Because they need that instant gratification. And that's, to me, is, well...
I'll have to bring up casinos because I have friends that are wicked gamblers, and that's definitely a direct dopamine hit and money spend that it's fun once in a while. Like if you take $40 and you say, you know what, I don't care if I lose this $40, whatever, it's just kind of a fun thing. You go out one night with your friends.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I have this thing where I'll go out and I'll say, all right, I'm going to spend, I don't even care, whatever it is, $50. I'll put the $50 down, or I'll go sit on slot machines or whatever, until the $50 that I wanted to spend is gone. Once it's gone, I'm done. I'm not really a big gambler anyway.
Right. Yeah, me either.
I'll take everything that I earned and pocket it.
Yep.
And once that $50 I want to spend is gone, whether I earn $200 or I don't earn anything,
I don't
that
just
$50
keep going.
once it's gone, I stop.
Yep.
I cash out, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it. But I also don't get excitement from that.
I do it a little different. If I say I'm going to spend $50 and I take the $50 and I win $200, I'll put the $50 back in my pocket, and then I'll gamble with the money. I'll gamble with their money that they just gave me.
Right.
So maybe I'll gamble with $150, and and again, I start over. I'm like, okay, I got $150 I'm gambling with, and then if I win $300, I take $150, put it in my pocket, and go, okay, I'm gambling with $150. Now I'm up, and that's the way I do it. I mean, that's just my own little...
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
I think the way I do it is like I feel like I like to feel like I'm getting one over on them. So I'm like, you know what?
Right.
Let me take the winnings. If I make $80, if I spend $20 and I make $80,
Yep.
you know what I mean? I want the $60, whatever.
No, I hear you.
But
100%.
However you do it works for you. But like, just understand that instant gratification, getting something, there is a part of your brain that like produces the chemical and makes you feel better.
Right.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but as you get older, you'll realize that it's a temporary feeling.
Of course.
And just like anything else, you've got to do more of it to get the same effect later on, which is probably something where I can quickly bring up drugs for you, Dave, because that's kind of part of it. It's not necessarily the only thing, but it's the same thing where, the high doesn't work for you if you do it twice. It's like, well, no, I'm not as excited as I was the first time.
That's right.
You know, I've got to double this or whatever, I've got to add to it. Excuse me, but, for me, it's a way to judge character. And when I'm dealing with people that are, look, I want this now. You mentioned earlier, by the way, the boyfriend girlfriend thing and somebody wanting to be that really quick.
Right.
And of course, I wrote this in my notes. Somebody that is assuming a hierarchy that they feel belongs with the title that they're. Does that make sense? So I can only describe it like this. I'm dating a guy. I've known him like 3 weeks or whatever, which, and then he comes over to my house, which if anybody knows me is completely unheard of. But let's just say for the sake of silliness that I actually say, hey, come on over after 3 weeks. There are guys that will think because they've maybe talked to me for 2 weeks that they have a formula in their head of how much like headway they're making with me.
Right.
It's just something that and so once they feel like they've established enough, I call presumptuous familiarity, like they think that they're trying to get familiar with me or they're trying to push some kind of bond on me that's not natural.
Right.
Because that's really what it is. They feel like, well, as a boyfriend, I now can come and go to your apartment when I feel like it. Or there's just stuff that's built into this that I get to they're perks for me. If I'm your boyfriend and you have a dog, then I become more important than your dog because that's the way it works for me. Or whatever it is. There's some kind of thing in their head where they think that they're entitled to some things for stuff that they barely know me anyway, but they're trying to push the relationship. And then on top of it, there's stuff that comes with that relationship that they're trying to get to. I want access to your apartment when I want. I want you to drop everything when I call. I want you to get rid of your friends from me, whatever it is.
Right. It's an assumption, really. So
right.
In order to get that instant gratification that you're going for,
right,
it's you're going to be creating farces. You're going to be creating things that aren't real is what you're doing. Because the instant gratification is not a real thing. Now, if you want to back it up again and do it like I do it, because if I meet somebody, I get instant gratification just from, talking to somebody going, hey, that was a good conversation. Like I just had a conversation with somebody last night from Hinge, and it was a good conversation. I get gratification from that. Is she my girlfriend? No. Right. And I don't assume that she's my girlfriend because I had a good conversation. Nor do you assume that like
she belongs to you and can't talk to anybody else.
Absolutely
I'm just saying.
Not. Yeah, absolutely not.
We deal with that a lot, both of us, I'm sure.
All I do is I hope for another conversation. We've talked about that, and we want to have another conversation. We actually shared a couple texts today. Simple. Hope you're having a great day. And she said, you too. And I hope you're having a great day as well. She said, I'm at work. And that was it. That's the whole thing, right? Yep. Now, if I was an instant gratification guy, or if she was an instant gratification girl, because this is what I watch for. I find, of course, I'm a guy, so I'm going to get. God bless you. I'm going to get. I'm going to get
editing that out later.
I'm going to get the women that are looking for instant gratification. You're going to get the guys, right? Because I'm not looking for that. The same instant gratification that, like, I accept the little things as gratification, right? They make me feel good. So,
and that's good. If you,
yes, of course. But again, people want like their goal. They want their goal to be done, like so quickly, and it's like, and I will tell you from past experience as well, and I'm not speaking out of my ass here. If you're expecting instant gratification in anything that you do, you're going to fail at it. It's not going to work.
Right, if you're trying to get to the end of the line before doing any of the work or any of the experience.
Exactly. Even in business. Right? If I have a goal and my goal is to, have a successful business, that's my goal, which means to me, I can't just say I want a successful business and, go and people. I've seen so many people dump tons of money into. I'm starting in this and I'm doing that and I'm getting this and I'm getting that and then it's all done, right? Because they think that by doing all that stuff, they get the instant gratification, and then when they don't, they give up on it, right? They go, "Oh, I didn't make $100,000 this week. Oh, I quit." And to me, that is the biggest grounds for failure is expecting instant gratification from anything. Now, we're very relationship swayed here in this podcast, as you all know. So we talk about that. So if you jump into a relationship because that's what your final goal is, and you meet somebody and you go, "Oh, I like this guy," and a week later, your boyfriend and girlfriend, you're out of your damn mind. You don't even know who that. And I've seen people 2 weeks, 3 weeks later saying, "I love this person," or "I love you too." What the fuck? Okay, it just drives me nuts because it's I remember. I had an issue with a woman once, and all she kept talking about is is this a long-term relationship? And I go, well, I don't know yet. And she goes, well, I know. And I go, you do. You know that you want to spend the rest of your life with me. She goes, yes. And this is 2 weeks now, mind you, and we're grown-ass adults. And so I don't, this is a person, instant gratification. Oh, I did. I ran like a bastard, changed my phone number and everything. I had to. She would not leave me alone. But every time that we get together, we couldn't talk. And so I even said to her, what's my middle name? I don't know. I go, yeah, but you know you want to spend the rest of your life with a guy you don't even know my middle name. So is it based on looks? Because, okay, that's the way I do it too. I look at somebody from across the room and I go, can I spend the rest of my life with that person? The answer is, yeah, I could. Then I talk to them and I go, could I still spend the rest of my life with that person? Yeah, I could. Can I spend, quality time? Then maybe we have sex or we go out for dinner and we eat, we're compatible. And could I spend the rest of my life? Yes. But I'm still finding out. And sometimes, the last relationship I was in lasted a year. It took me a year to find out that we were not compatible, right? Yep. Everything was going great. And so you go step, grow, step, grow, step, grow until you are done. Or until you
There are some people that can't, they can't just take that one step at a time and have no end goal about stuff.
You have no damn choice. I can't hop from here
to
Connecticut.
Don't. I know, and they don't. But it's just crazy to see people just. It's been a month that we've been what are we doing here?
It's so frustrating.
Calm down.
Yeah, what are we doing? And the answer is. We're two grown-ass adults that are really attracted to each other, and we want to see where it goes because we want to hopefully it turns into something great. But
that's one of those screeners that I discussed last week where there are people that they think that there's something that you yes or no, and it's going to eliminate you from something. They think that they know everything they need to know based on that one question.
Right. Yep.
Do you know what you want right now? Well, it would be nice if I had this, but to be honest with you, no, I don't know you well enough to know what I want from you. Oh, that's just not definite enough for me. I've got to screen you out. You're like, okay. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Well, look, I know what I want from somebody, and for the most part, and the only way to find out if they're everything on my list, and we've, if you have not heard of our lists, then, check out one of our past episodes. There's two of them, actually. One is my list and one is Lena's list. But we have these lists in place specifically for, and I believe everybody should have one, specifically for the growth of a relationship. Because if I've got certain things on my list and the person doesn't grow to that, and those things are on my list are important to me, that means we've hit a stalemate. We've hit an area that we're not compatible with, okay. I know this is going to sound drastic, but to me, it's all the same, whether it's this drastic or not. If I meet somebody and she's absolutely beautiful and I take her pants off and she has a penis, game over. It's over. And I wouldn't even think twice about it. And every guy on this planet that is straight is going to agree with me 100% on that. So then why is it that you can jump into a relationship and find something else that you're not thrilled with? You just keep going anyway. So
because of that, I don't want to go back to being alone. I don't want to go back to dating people until I find somebody. I've been single for 2 years and I can't take it anymore. And that's just, again, go listen to last week's episode. You'll hear all that.
Yeah, I've been single for 12 years, just so everybody knows, and I'm happy. And if I bring somebody into...
People should be happy whether they're single for...
100%.
No matter what. Evolve, single, whatever.
Do I get lonely sometimes, and I want that relationship? Of course I do. Do I then, when I feel like that, guess what I don't do? I don't go out. Because I know better. I don't want to start something... I'm like, okay, I got to get through this. I'll just watch movies. I don't care if I watch some, chick flicks and, get all up in my feels. It doesn't matter, whatever I got to do. But the fact of the matter is sure, like I said, it's okay to feel lonely sometimes. But again, I'm not lonely. I have friends that I hang out with. I have, female friends and male friends. I can do stuff. It's not like people associate this instant gratification you can only get when you're in a monogamous relationship with the person, somebody that you want to be in a relationship with.
That goes back to rank, and I think relationships are more important than friendships and all that kind of stuff that people do.
But are they?
I think it's just
if they are, then how come I've never been in a relationship that has lasted longer than 5 years? But my friendships, I have friends that I've been friends with pushing 30 years. So you tell me. Which ones are more important? Because had I given up those relationships for my other little shorties, No. And I think that's why we call them shorties now. I think I just figured it out right now because I wasn't saying shorty as in the girl shorty.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's why shorty. It's a short relationship a majority of the time because we're not accepting of the fact that it takes time to know somebody. People that have been together for 50, 60 years, you ask them what was the key to this, and they said compatibility. Most of them say we're very compatible and we just loved each other, and we spent a lot of time together and quality time together, and
over time they actually built like a strong friendship.
Of course they did. They're
within
best
the
friends,
relationship,
and you see it too because they're holding hands, they're smiling, they're happy. You look at young people today, and not even people that've been together for any period of time. You look at a couple that's been together for 2 years, and you talk to them, and they got nothing but bitching and moaning and complaining. And they're miserable in their relationship. And I'm like, then why are you there? Because what do you think this is going to feel like 40 years from now?
Right.
Yeah, God, this is not
Times
great.
have changed a little bit, but
it's not instant gratification. It's instant garbage is what it is, right?
It is. I mean, it's whatever you, hey, listen, I'm just going to lock down whatever I can lock down. I'm tagging toes,
Yes, yucca.
I'm going to quickly go over some stuff. Because we discussed instant, we should probably just review some delayed stuff.
Sure.
These are actually good and healthy for you. If you do have a sense of delayed gratification and you are able to sit comfortably within that, there's some good reward for it. So Dave is mentioned once or twice that he does some fasting. Fasting is something that really is related to delayed gratification. Mm-hmm. And that's, for a healthy purpose. Saving money, investing money. Those are delayed gratification type movements, if they're done smartly. Any kind of education or school, very long-term school. Obviously, if you have a long-term goal to get a degree for some type of occupation that you need a degree for, but also just learning, just being able to learn.
If you want to be a doctor,
not,
you're not getting instant gratification.
But
right. You're not if you want to be a doctor, you're going to have delayed gratification. Yeah.
I know people who don't really have any specific, I have to have this degree. They're more like, I want to take this class, I want to learn about this thing. And they sort of meander through school and they don't necessarily, maybe they have a job they love, but they just want to learn more about something different.
Sure.
In a way, I guess it's instant, but technically anytime you go through school, it's a long enough wait to get to the end of the line. It's definitely delayed.
Right.
And then stuff like fitness and fitness goals and diet goals. And I don't really think diet's the word, maybe more of lifestyle. Obviously,
I think it's more of
small changes
lifestyle.
And small little tweaks in your lifestyle in order to maintain something. Building habits is also very delayed, but with good reward. Mm-hmm. And then what we were talking about, relationships, bonding, and organic friendships and relationships and people in your life that like you really, really nurture long-term bonding and mutual whatever. Hobbies, mutual goals, shared whatever it is with your friends, with people that you're around, even with family members and that kind of stuff. And then waiting, also with relationships, I wrote like waiting for a match, for in others that you bring into your world. And this isn't just relationship oriented where it's romantic, but just, here are people that are around me that like, they get me, I get them. They're my tribe.
Of course.
I know there are a lot of people that really do force friendships with people that they don't really click with, or they're trying to, I don't know, of course it comes from insecurity and all the stuff I mentioned earlier, but trying to get
instant
some type
gratification.
Of recognition. Exactly.
It's instant gratification. Like people that like totally meet somebody out at the bar and they're like, oh, hey, this is my friend. Or, like, look, I met a lot of people, and I'm sure you have too, through the bars and being out and being in the industry and being around people. You see the same people over and over, and they become what I call my bar friends because I don't see them outside the bar. They are not my friends, and I'm not being. Listen, if you're listening out there,
I call it people I know.
That's
people
right.
I know.
There's a big difference. I literally have like 4 or 5 like close friends, and 3 of them I see and talk to every day, or at least talk to them every day. 3, and that's it. And it was awesome. Today I was with 2 of them. And it was funny because the third one actually called me while I was with the other two. And so there it is, all my 3 friends that I talk to every day. So, but that was not instant gratification. This took time to get to this point, right? Yep. Is it gratifying? Of course it is. These are people that I could trust with my life.
Gratifying over time.
Of course it does.
So much more.
It's proven.
Solid.
And it grew naturally. Like let's talk about Ryan, big dog, right? He loves when I talk about him because a lot of time I use him as, I love Ryan, but I don't want to have sex with him as in one of my things that I talk to all the time. When we talk about relationships and the gratification you get from relationships and so on and so forth. But so he hates that. But anyway, when I first met him, he was working for my dad. Used to see him in the bar and stuff, and that was about it. And I think that something happened one day, something with my dad's car or something, and I get a message from Brian, who is a guy that, I've seen in the bar. He was a bar friend. And not for very long. He wasn't a bar friend for, maybe I would say 4 or 5 months. And then he said, yeah, he goes, bring the car to me. I'll take care of it. And I hung out with him for the day, and we just clicked. And we started hanging out more and more, and it grew naturally. Now it's to the point where I talk to him several times a day. People are like, oh my God, he's like you guys have got a bromance going. Yeah, call it what you will. We built that over a period of time. It wasn't instant gratification. If I was looking for a friend, I don't go out to a bar and go, hey, be my friend. I mean, think about how stupid that is, right?
I know.
Would you be my friend? You would never do that. So why would you do that?
People
with
don't
somebody?
do that, but I know what
they
you mean.
don't do that, but they do it with significant others, right? Will you be my boyfriend? Will you be my girlfriend? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So if you think about that, instant gratification will never work for you. Ever. No.
It will not.
No.
It seems like it does, but you'll also need that bigger hit every single time. You'll need to go and do more and do more. And it's a bottomless pit.
I've got a perfect analogy for this because you brought it up. You were talking about school, right? If you go to school, let's say you already have the job you love, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about life. I have the life I love. I'm happy.
Yep.
So now when I meet somebody, so if you go to school, you're still getting knowledge every day you go to school. So you're getting gratification every single day, right?
Yeah,
but your final goal is going to be, but you're still getting the education that you wanted. So you're getting a form of instant gratification. You're just not done yet. So the thing is that with me in a relationship, I do it the same way. Every day I'm getting instant gratification. I had a phone conversation. It went well. That's instant gratification for me. I'm not looking for the end all be all to be that full gratification because that to me is where you make your mistakes.
I agree.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. David Gump.
I know, David. You're calling me, good, we're going to get copyright issues. No, my last name could be Gump.
No.
Uh-huh. I didn't say anything about bubblegum shrimp.
Hey, that's on you.
That's an actual place. So maybe I ate there and I liked it. Yeah. So
you did.
That's right.
What we're going to do? We're going to actually wrap this podcast up. Because we have not been able to do this. So we're not going to give ourselves instant gratification and talk for like a whole hour about one thing. We're going to cut ourselves off. We're going to put ourselves under some discipline here.
Yep. And we're still going, telling you why we're still going.
Yeah, I know.
That's if we can't stop.
But that's okay. We can do it.
That's it. Okay. You guys, guess what? We actually made our first normal length podcast. We always shoot for this, right? We always shoot for trying to end it, and we never can. We always run. Our podcasts,
and
are
we
ridiculous.
Still might not be able to.
No, we're going to do it. You guys have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Before we go, www.laneanddave.com and buymeacoffee.com/Lane and Dave. Those are the things we normally say. But
that's right.
We will see you next week. Next week we actually have a really good one, so we'll talk to you then.
Next week we're going to talk about cheating and what it is. Ta-da! Talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye now. Hey, you just listened to Love and Life with Lana and Dave. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share the podcast, leave us a comment or review, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new content. We'll see you soon.